You might remember Tom Holland from Spider-Man, but his role in that crowded room still keeps him up at night, and the insane things Tom faced to become Danny are disturbing. For Tom Holland, playing Danny was very different from his famous Spider-Man role, so it's been a massive struggle for him since he learned about the role. The character, Danny Sullivan, is based on the story of Billy Milligan, a mass shooter and the first criminal in the United States to walk free after committing an enormous crime due to mental health issues. Billy was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder and had about 2 other personalities in his head. Tom had to fill this role and portray the darkness that Billy suffered, which was far more difficult than he initially thought. Tom was used to doing jobs that require more physical action than the emotional part, and so this was the first time he got a truly emotionally complex role. It was a big struggle for Tom to fill out this Danny role because he had to imagine and even go through some of what Danny suffered during his childhood. Tom explained the challenges when he said he had to put himself through the mind of Danny, who was traumatized as a child and felt the burden every day of his adult life. Tom broke down some of the things Danny went through, saying, "I'd be naive to say that I understand what it is he's been through, but I feel his pain. Waking up every day, going to work, and having to cry for 6 hours every day is a really taxing thing to do." And this role affected Tom's mental and emotional health so badly that throughout the show's filming, the actor always struggled between himself and the character. During the filming of The Crowded Room, Tom became very lean. The job came with a weird haircut, so he was tempted to cut it off to look like himself again. Tom revealed that he was tired and felt himself slipping away until he was gone. Throughout that period, Tom failed to find himself as the character drowned him, and he's never had such a challenging experience in his entire acting career. The crazy thing about this whole experience and why it touched Tom Holland so much is that he wasn't in great shape when he started working on the project. The actor shared a video of himself speaking on how he was struggling with his mental health based on what he reads about himself on Twitter and Instagram. At the time, Tom had to take a break from social media to get his mental health together, but getting to act in The Crowded Room around the same time affected him even more. So, in becoming Danny, Tom needed space for himself too, but the challenges were too much that Danny got the upper hand. Tom mentioned that the highest form of mental health issue he's personally experienced relates to the pressures he gets from being famous. He gets to go through the stress of being judged by millions of people he'd never met and is forced to embody many impossible standards. And having to be on camera and getting monitored constantly was one of the tricky things Tom was dealing with while playing Danny. So this extra pressure forced him into pushing himself to bring Danny to life. The actor said that he could see a massive influence of the character on his personal life and that he wanted to delete the character due to the dangerous emotions he was feeling. Tom said, "I remember having a bit of a meltdown at home and thinking like, I'm gonna shave my head. I need to shave my head because I need to get rid of this character." And obviously we were mid-shooting, so I decided not to. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Another big struggle Danny had to deal with in making The Crowded Room goes beyond acting, as he's also a producer on the show and had to be alert even though he was lost in his character. Being a producer on The Crowded Room was a first for Tom, as he's never produced any show or film in the past, so he was involved in many things he didn't even know were required. So it was a big struggle for Tom to be physically present and available both as a lead and producer of the show, and because every experience was his first, he worked harder than ever. Tom had to juggle from being Danny back to himself as a producer while filming, and he revealed that it was a big responsibility that he had to participate in. While working as a producer for The Crowded Room, Tom had to spend longer days on set than usual, and as someone who had to stay in character, he added that it was a big task shooting some scenes. According to Tom, he sometimes had to step out to request that some sequences get reshot and even change each episode's perspective while filming the miniseries. Aside from the considerable work he had to do on set to make sure many details were captured correctly as a producer, Tom also made himself available after the shooting ended. In many other cases, the cast usually relaxes after filming and waits for the editors to come up with the final cut, but Tom wouldn't let that happen without him being present. He would meet weekly with the editors to work on each episode and decide what to keep on the show or take away. However, Tom encountered a problem while performing his post-production duties. He found it difficult to judge his own performance. So Tom had to trust the editors to choose the best takes from his performances, as it was challenging to know which of his acts came out better than the others. Tom may have suffered mental and emotional trauma while acting as Danny, Danny in the crowded room, but he also struggled with the physical demands that came with the show. One of the scenes from the show that has caused considerable controversy online had Tom's character having a thorough confession with an investigator, Raya. It's from this confession that Danny revealed that one of the personalities living within him, Ariana, liked to be romantic with men. This led to another short scene of Danny getting steamy with a man in a club's bathroom. And this part of the show, starting from the investigation room to the club scene, was very demanding to pull through, according to Amanda Seyfried, who played Raya in the series. Amanda revealed that they filmed the scene in that room for about 3 weeks, and it wasn't easy. Then Amanda hinted at Tom's struggles, saying, "I sensed at the beginning of working with Tom that it was kind of a respite because he had been working like a madman." Amanda continued saying that before she even arrived on the set of The Crowded Room, Tom was already doing many physically demanding activities that came with the job. From the fight sequences to dancing and several spicy scenes, including the one with the viral clip, Tom put all his effort into everything, and he was doing them all as if his life depended on it. The showrunner, Akiva Goldsman, also revealed how crazy the shooting process was and how Tom managed to shine through the struggles. Akiva said they had to film for 130 days during COVID and in a busy New York City, and the showrunner doesn't think people have ever seen Tom work this way. Even Tom believes that The Crowded Room is his best work so far. He's very proud of his efforts and knows he deserved a good and long rest from acting as the show sent him to a dark place. So, Tom has been on a year break since he finished filming The Crowded Room to regain himself from Danny's dominating grasp. Unfortunately, Tom's struggles didn't end there, as the Danny character has continued to follow and affect him since the show was released. And one of the struggles included a terrible early review that the show got after it was released. It's a bad look for Tom because The Crowded Room is his most demanding and best job, according to him, and these reviews knocked him out. The series had a pretty bad score on Rotten Tomatoes when it was first released, and while fans rated it reasonably well, as it currently stands at 91% fan score, top movie critics were strict with it and ranked it 27%. A TV critic from Variety, Allison Herman, called The Crowded Room unfortunately empty while reviewing the series. And Tom felt so hurt by these comments that he called the reviews a kick in the teeth. It's a terrible struggle to see damaging reviews like that as the lead actor and producer of the show, but Tom isn't giving up. However, with this comes another struggle because the actor faced problems while trying to promote the show, but he's determined to see this through to the end. The actor even compared promoting The Crowded Room to being a Tottenham soccer team fan, adding that supporting a team that hasn't won anything is challenging, and so he's also facing difficulties trying to push The Crowded Room forward amid the negative reviews. Also, Tom is confident that these struggles are worth it because he believes the show is good and has much to teach. He wants people to look beyond the negative reviews and see the show for themselves to understand why he gave his best in the struggles to become Danny in The Crowded Room. What do you think about the series? And do you think it's judged too harshly? Share your thoughts in the comments. Bye, guys!